So remember that our standard form of an equation for a circle is x minus h quantity squared plus y minus k quantity squared. That's equal to our radius squared. So when we have something in standard form, it's very easy to identify the center. And remember, the center is at h comma k as an ordered pair. So the h is your x coordinate for the center. So I'm leaving behind the x and the minus, and I'm grabbing that 3. And when I go to look at grabbing my k, notice I have the wrong sign here. My formula says I should have a minus sign, and I have a plus. So that means I must have originally had a -1 there for that to become a plus. So our k value will be a -1. So in other words, your hk values end up being the opposite signs of what you see in the parentheses. All right, so my center is at 3, -1. So let's go over here to 3 and to -1 and plot our point. That is our center. Now, the rest of this is my radius squared. But remember, I am not graphing a squared radius. I want a regular radius. So we have to undo the square by taking the square root. So our radius will be the square root of 9, which is 3. So that means from my center point, I'm going to go to the right 3, I'm going to go up 3 from my center, left 3 from my center, and down 3 from my center. Once I have those 4 points, I can do my best to make a circle. Mine looks like a potato. Now, the other part of this is they want us to find our domain and our range. So what we need to know is that our domain is our x values. All right, so that just means let's find the x all the way to the left. Let's find the x all the way to the right. So the furthest x I had was when x was 0, and then I went to the right, the largest x I had was a 6. So my domain, my x values will be between 0 and 6. My range is my y values. So we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to look how low do we go and how high do we go. So the smallest or lowest y went all the way down to -4, and the highest y we had was a +2. So my range is my y values will be between -4 and 2. And then we're done with that first problem. On to the second problem. Same idea, except notice that I don't have any parentheses around the x. So if we wanted to look at this, this is really like saying x minus 0 squared plus my y. Look at that, I got a plus sign again. So minus -4. So remember, this is in my form of x minus h quantity squared plus y minus k quantity squared equals our radius squared. So when we go to do this, our center will be at 0 and -4. So 0, -4. Excuse me. And remember, my radius squared was equal to 16. So if I take the square root of that, I'll have my radius. It's 4. So it means from my center, we're going to go up 4, we're going to go to the right 4, we'll go down 4, we'll go left 4. And that's my circle-ish, my potato. Whoops. I said 4, but I only went 3 on that. Let's try that again. There. There's my circle. So now, when we're doing our domain, remember this is our x values. X is in between. Well, let's see, our smallest x was -4, and the largest x was a +4. When we go to do our range, remember that's our y values. The smallest y was -8. The largest y was 0. So that is what you're going to be doing in Big Ideas for questions 11 and 12. You're going to be plotting your graphs using their tools, and you are going to figure out the domain and the range. Notice that the first one that they have you doing looks weird. Sometimes the easiest problems look like they're the hardest problems. But just remember that's going to be an x minus 0 squared plus a y minus 0 squared equals 49. All right, so again, if you don't have parentheses, that means you're going to have a 0 for that coordinate. All right, so go ahead and do 11 and 12 in Big Ideas, and then we'll come back and do some more.